All right, let's just jump right in. We've all been there, right? You're stuck in some line, filling out the same form for the 10th time, waiting weeks for a simple yes or no. That's bureaucracy. We all know it, we all hate it. But what if AI could just make it all go away? Today, we're going to dig into this really powerful idea, using AI to kill bureaucratic delay for good. But as you're about to see, this promise of a perfect, frictionless world, well, it comes with a hidden danger. Is AI our great liberator, or is it building us a silent cage? This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It argues that all this red tape isn't some necessary evil. Nope. It's a man-made system of slowdowns. Think about it. The rules are known, the outcomes are pretty predictable, but we jam it all up with human bottlenecks. And all that waiting? It's basically a hidden tax on our time. So the solution seems pretty obvious, doesn't it? Just unleash AI on the whole mess. Let it automate the rules, process the forms, and give us instant answers. It's such a tempting vision of pure efficiency. But that brings us to the big question for this entire explainer. What is the real cost of handing over our systems to a perfectly efficient machine? Okay, so first, let's look at the bright side. What do we actually stand to gain if we could end this artificial delay? This is the part of the vision that feels like nothing but pure progress. So what exactly is artificial delay? It's any time a process gets slowed down, not for safety, not for careful thought, but just because. Because of paperwork, because of inefficiency, because someone's having a bad day. Our source calls it a hidden tax on citizens, and that's exactly what it is. It costs us our time, our money, and frankly, our sanity, for absolutely no good reason. And here's a perfect example. 95%. In one city, 95% of building permit applications that follow all the explicit rules, they get approved, eventually. So if the outcome is basically a foregone conclusion, what's the point of waiting for weeks? It's not about safety, it is pure, unadulterated waste. And that is exactly the kind of problem AI was built to solve. And this is what we're talking about getting rid of. The endless paperwork drag, the arbitrary waiting periods, and yeah, the human gatekeeper who holds all the power for no good reason. This isn't just about making things faster. It's about getting a little bit of fairness and dignity back when we have to deal with these big institutions. Okay, but here's where the story takes a very sharp turn. Because this vision of perfect, clean efficiency, if you take it too far, it can become something much, much more dangerous. It's a kind of utopian trap that we really need to watch out for. This is a massive warning sign. You know, history is full of systems that promised perfection. Zero crime, zero waste, zero corruption. It always sounds amazing. But in the real world, getting to zero requires a level of control that often creates way worse problems than the ones it was trying to fix. See, unchecked power, even if it's held by a supposedly neutral AI, can become its own special kind of tyranny. So here's the bottom line. When we start talking about AI replacing not just boring paperwork, but entire legal and political systems, we're not talking about reform anymore. We're talking about putting all of our society's decision-making power into one single, centralized AI brain. It's a huge consolidation of power, and history has shown us again and again exactly where that road leads. Now, to really get why this is so risky, we have to talk about the core mistake people make when they dream of an AI-run government. It's this fundamental confusion between just applying rules and actually delivering justice. They are not the same thing. And this table just lays it all out. Look, AI is an absolute master at matching rules, optimizing for an outcome, and doing it with perfect consistency millions of times a second. It's incredible at that. But justice? Justice requires something totally different. It needs moral judgment. It needs compassion for someone's unique situation. It needs the wisdom to hold back power. And maybe most important of all, it needs to be accountable to the weakest people in a society, not just blindly follow a code. Which brings us to this idea of moral risk. Using AI to approve a building permit, that's low risk. The rules are clear, but using that same exact logic to decide on a legal sentence, or to deny someone medical care, or to make a huge political decision, that is incredibly high moral risk. These aren't just optimization problems to be solved. These are deeply human questions with massive moral consequences. So are we stuck? Is it either frustrating, inefficient humans or a cold, unfeeling AI overlord? No. Thankfully, no. The source material points to a middle path, a way to get the best of both worlds without falling into the trap. And this is the guiding principle. It's so simple and so powerful. The goal is to use this incredible technology to kill bureaucracy without killing our humanity in the process. This framework gives us a really clear roadmap. On the one hand, yes, absolutely, let's use AI to get rid of arbitrary delays and those ego-driven checkpoints. But on the other hand, we have to fiercely protect the things on the right: our right to appeal to another human being, the bedrock principle of due process, and the ability for a person to make a moral override to say, the computer is wrong here. And we have to preserve slowness when it comes to decisions that you just can't take back. This is it. This is the mantra we need to remember. Speed is for permits. Slowness is for justice. Let's use AI to make the simple, rule-based stuff lightning fast. But let's demand human slowness, human thought, and human wisdom for the complex, irreversible stuff that really defines what a just society is. Which brings us right back to our big choice. AI is a tool, a profoundly powerful tool. And like any tool, its impact, whether it's good or bad, depends entirely on the mindset of the people who are using it. The tech itself is neutral. Our intention, that's everything. This is the mindset that turns a helpful tool into a cage. It's the belief that efficiency is the only thing that matters, that any human disagreement is just a bug in the system, that human judgment itself is just a form of fraud. This way of thinking leads to a world that isn't loud and oppressive, but is perfectly, cleanly, and silently ordered, which, as the source points out, is actually far more dangerous. So we have to completely reframe our goal. The point is not AI will govern humans. No. The real enlightened goal should be AI will remove friction so humans can govern wisely. It's a fundamental shift, right? It moves AI from the role of a ruler to the role of a servant. So as we build this future, let this be our guide. We need to use this technology to accelerate service to people, not to accelerate the domination of systems over them. Let's use AI to replace the artificial delays that drive us all crazy, but let's never allow it to replace the fundamental human dignity of being heard and judged by another person. And this is the most important one. Let's use AI to remove friction from our systems, but never, ever let it remove conscience from our decisions. That is the bright red line that we just cannot cross. Look, the tool is here. It's in our hands right now, and it gets more powerful every single day. We can use it to build a world that's faster and fairer and more humane, or we can use it to build a world that is perfectly ordered and silently unfree. The choice isn't up to the AI. It's up to us. So, what are we going to build?